For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 26 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Before we jump into everything today, let's just take a quick pause to thank everybody that tuned in and viewed the One Gotta Go segment from last week, the Battle of the Chicken Restaurants. It got a lot of views, a lot of interaction, a lot of feedback. Some people agreed with the right choice. Other people, it
was 3-1. I'm pretty sure the right choice was Boston Market.
Listen, if you ain't first, you're last, and I was number one, so that means I'm first. The rest of y'all are last. That's what Will Ferrell said in Talladega Nights. So that's the story that I'm going to stick with. But thank you guys. We appreciate all the love, all the feedback. One Gotta Go is definitely one of our favorite segments to do. It's basically us just sitting around and talking shit on each other while we go over ridiculous topics. So by all means, stick around to the end of the show. We'll get into this week's One Gotta Go at the end of the show. But gentlemen, how was everybody doing? How's everybody weeks? We want to just jump right into the nuts and bolts and the shits and giggles, or what's up with everybody?
Work week just whooped my ass this week. Yeah.
What's going on? Just busy at work, or
just busy. Mm-hmm.
It was end of the month for sales too, so yeah, this week was pretty busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, work's overrated. I don't want to talk about work. Get me into it. That'll just Let's not.
I will say, coming off of the One Gotta Go comment, stay tuned for the end of the show. I think this could possibly be our most controversial One Gotta Go yet. Yep. I've saved this one for a few weeks, and I think today's the right day for it.
And if we were on radio, that would be called a tease, folks. But since we're not, and we're trying to act professional, just stick around to the end of the fucking show. How about you do that? All right, what do you got for this week, guys? Intro-wise, TV, news, radio, music, movies, anything. What do y'all got?
3 things on the gaming front. Well, actually 4. First one, I scored a PS5 over the week, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah. The PlayStation State of Play was Thursday, and they were showing off 10 new games, and actually it got bad reviews. It was actually a waste of time. But high points of it was Returnal. They finally showed gameplay for that. And it's like a mix of Destiny and Until Dawn. So it looks pretty good. Knockout City is like a dodgeball Fortnite. So looks pretty fun. And the big thing was Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade. And it's just the PS4 version getting upgraded to PS5 graphics. And they're adding in a new DLC adventure for it. So if you like Final Fantasy VII, that will be out June 10th. And then also Sony confirmed the PlayStation VR 2. Not sure when it's going to come out, but the headset is going to have the HAP system and the adaptive triggers in the controllers, just like the PS5 controller is. So they said when you wear the headset and if the game is raining, you're actually going to feel the rain, like the shaking on the headset to make it feel like it's rain.
So like whenever you go to an amusement park and they have the 4D rides or whatever, and you like the chair shaking and moving up and down, and you know what I mean, the vibrations, all that, you'll actually feel.
Yep, it's going to be in the headset for that.
Listen, 20, 30 years from now, we're going to come out with something that will discuss how VR is not the best thing for you. Like I just got that feeling that something's going to happen with that. I know a lot of people were talking about the Oculus thing from Facebook that they have that's been getting a lot of pub lately as far as VR goes. It's about $300, so a little cheaper. I don't know what the VR is for PlayStation, what that runs.
I got mine on sale for the regular VR for PS4 for $250. It was
Okay,
a bundle
so
set for the same thing.
about the same. So yeah, I've never dabbled in. I mean, I've done like the virtual reality thing at Dave and Buster's. That I think they had a Jurassic Park one when Jurassic World came out. That was pretty sweet. You had to ride around and catch all the dinosaurs and all that. But other than that, I haven't done any VR gaming or anything. So might give it a go here.
Yeah, the only one that I really focused on playing was Resident Evil 7. And after the first 15 minutes, I had to take it off because that's how scary it was feeling. Like it was feeling really immersive. So I had to play it regular.
So I got some gaming stuff just to throw out real quick, rapid fire, see what your guys' takes are on some of these things. Twisted Metal is becoming a TV series. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So if you were a fan of the video game, it is becoming a TV series. I think it'll probably be like I don't want to say like a Mad Max Fury Road type deal, but I'm assuming it'll be along that level. But that was announced that's going to be a TV series. What else did I have? Twisted Metal. Oh, the big thing that I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. Let me pull it up here so I don't misquote anything. GTA 5, so Grand Theft Auto, may be banned if new bill passes. So let me get into this real quick.
They won't ban it.
Nah.
Here's the deal. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto has been a very controversial series for a lot of reasons based off of what you can actually do in the game. And it's been challenged before in that, but there was a new bill introduced last week. It's the HB 3531. It's an amendment that wants to not just ban the sale of games featuring psychological harm and carjacking to minors, but to adults as well. According to the individual, these types of games promote criminal activities, which in turn hurt the community. The bill would prohibit the sale of some of the games that promote the activities that we're suffering from in our communities. Yada, yada, yada. Here's the big thing is, though, the bill would also change the definition of what a violent video game is, or more specifically to the following: control a character within the video game that is encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise causes serious physical harm, psychological harm to another human or animal. So basically what this amendment bill is, if this passes, any game that has any type of violence, as far as your first-person shooters, Fortnite, Call of Duties, I guess Halo would be safe because it's aliens, so it's not humans or animals. But basically, those are going to be censored and not be allowed to be sold for consumption anymore on the market.
It ain't going to happen. A whole industry would die. Yeah,
and this isn't the first time it's come across either.
Yeah, whenever Mortal Kombat first came out, they tried that because of how violent Mortal Kombat was.
I mean, you had to have the special code to put in to get the blood, like
yeah,
you know what I mean. And that was I remember that was the big thing back in middle school. Like I had that code written on paper that was stashed, under some books in the bedroom, and I pull it out and put it in. Now, my mom didn't really care. It wasn't one of those things where it was cracked down in my household as far as having the blood on the screen or not. But what are your guys, just as a larger scope, what are your guys' thoughts just basically on the violence and criminal activity that some of these games promote, and whether or not it does impact individuals on a level? We saw this with music for years, the whole parental advisory sticker and everything else. It seems to be something that's making a mound out of an anthill, but I don't know. I could be wrong in my feelings on it.
You don't see it with movies.
Well, I mean,
you can't kill one genre and then leave a whole nother.
Yeah, and I don't know how they would differentiate. I mean, like that's obviously one argument that you can go into. And yes, we have ratings with movies, but they also have the ratings for games. So, like, if the ratings are in place and they're there for a reason, same with TV shows and everything else. Like, obviously, it's up to the individuals in the household to make the decisions as to whether or not you're allowing minors or younger children to play these games. Like, I mean, if you were going to take this to back when we were growing up, it was like you can't have toy guns playing cops and robbers or whatever because that you're going to grow up and get guns and shoot and kill people. Like, cap guns, you can't have a cap gun. That was a big thing growing up. Like, we used to have cap guns running around, playing.
Or just like we said with the candy too, the candy cigarettes.
Candy cigarettes, yeah.
I mean, bunch of Nerf guns don't own a gun. I don't like guns.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, is Grand Theft Auto more on the extreme side of things when it comes to what is actually in the game and what you can do and some of the adult content? Yes. Would I let my 7-year-old or 6-year-old kid play Grand Theft Auto? No.
That's where the parenting come in at too.
Right.
You're the parents. You're allowing this in your household, so you have to teach the kid like, hey, this is not real. You got to set your boundaries with stuff. That's what it all really comes back down to.
Which opens up a bigger issue, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they're trying to sneak this amendment through that would essentially, I mean, like, so where would it stop? What games would be allowed? Like Super Mario, there's violence. Like, is that okay? You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Which is gonna be playing sports games for the rest of the industry.
Well, again,
and then you can't do boxing games. Football's violent now, in their eyes.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something to keep an eye on. Like, I don't think it'll get passed. We're not a political show, so we don't get into politics. But I think there's plenty of other bigger fish to fry than video games at this point with stuff that needs done and addressed. Let's try to use our tax dollars for some other things first. Just
very true.
We'll just keep it at that.
Agree.
All right. That's all I have from the video gaming front.
I just got one more video game. The Nintendo Switch Pro. They having leaks about it and everything, and Nintendo said it's going to come, but no time soon. So hopefully next year sometime for you Nintendo fans.
What are they teasing for the Pro?
They said somebody was data mining, so we don't promote the hacking and that stuff, but they somebody data mined some of their data and
data mining.
Yeah, they came up 4K resolution for some games and the screen and all that stuff. So whenever you hear 4K, that means the Pro edition of systems are going to come out.
Okay.
So, Nintendo had to put that spin on it to say, yeah, it's going to come, but we don't know when.
I'm actually surprised they didn't, prorate the original Switch to 4K, just because of when it came out. I mean, the Switch was a bunch of stuff rolled into one, anyways, and because the original Wii wasn't HD compatible, the Wii U was, but that lasted all of a minute. So I know they were just trying to make it HD compatible, but 4K will be interesting to see how they do that with Nintendo games.
One other quick game, Star Wars Republic Commando was announced for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. So if you're a Star Wars fan, that'll be available.
What story is that going to be?
I didn't read through it to see. I just saw the headline and saved it off. I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I've never seen a Star Wars movie from start to finish. All you Star Wars marks, if you want to come at me, I don't care. I'll tell you to hit the bricks just like I did Mufasa. So, yeah, I'm in that type of mood today. So
I was going to say we're starting early.
No, it's going down today. It is going down today. All right, it's going down today. It's going down. So
Got the drink of the week happened a little early.
There was a lot of TV movie news this week. I'll start off with there's a Superman reboot in the works. J.J. Abrams is supposed to be at the helm of that. It's rumored that there's going to be a black Superman in this movie. I'm not sure if it's going to be Calvin Ellis or what the character will be, but that's the plan right now.
I'm sure that they'll be up in arms about that, just like there was whenever there was a Black Bond announced. So
already seen some angry reacts on the post. So
it didn't even happen yet.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not even official.
So
that was
ridiculous.
the same thing for Bond too. It wasn't even official. Nothing's official, and people were up in arms.
Listen, I want Idris Elba to play Bond. I think he would make a great Bond.
He would.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about him being a black actor. It's the reason why I think he'll be a great Bond. It's because he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And
now the downside of that now is though that he's getting older because it's been rumored for so long. You know, could he play Bond now? You know, like it's almost like the same thing with Daniel Craig. He was young when he started, but he's got to the point now where he can't do it.
Listen, if Liam Neeson is still out there making Taken 6 and 7 and he's 7 years old, I think Idris Elba can play Bond. Okay.
I mean, you still got Bruce Willis kicking it.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
But for those of you that more Superman, if you missed Superman and Lois debut this week, it's going to be aired tonight on TNT at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I heard there was mixed reactions about that.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle.
Some diehards. Now this takes place in Smallville, right? Just the continuation on, but from a different perspective.
So it kind of takes off of what happened in the Arrowverse with Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they had the multiverse of different Earths. So it's not a continuation of Smallville. It's Smallville on a different Earth. So that Smallville universe exists in one area. This version of Superman exists somewhere else, and that's the storyline.
What you saving it on your thing, Jason?
Sorry, we're boring you, Jason.
You had to get that in there because I missed it.
There's a thing after it too. If you missed that, they're doing like a Superman show afterwards, kind of like talking about like other people coming on. Paramount Plus is launching this week. That's another app service, so just another one to add to it. But they announced a whole bunch of stuff.
Is it free with somebody?
No. So if you had CBS All Access, it's just turning into Paramount Plus. So if you paid for that, you're going to get Paramount Plus. But if you didn't, it's another service. They announced that movies are going to, just like HBO Max, once movies are in the theater, 30 to 90 days after they released in the theater, will go on to Paramount Plus. So Mission Impossible 7 in September, once that's released, 30 to 90 days after it's released, it will go on Paramount Plus.
So they're doing the opposite of HBO Max. HBO Max, it's on there for the first 30 days.
Yeah,
same day that it's released in theaters, it's on there for 30 days, and then they drop it off. So after that, you got to go to the theater. CBS All Access or Paramount, they're doing the opposite. After that 30 days, 30 to 90, then it's going to be on there.
Correct. So it could still be in the theater at the same time that it's on Paramount Plus, but depends on how they do these releases. But the interesting thing for me, because I know I've talked about Bond before, Paramount Plus is also going to have MGM movies on, and the new Bond movie, No Time to Die, will be factored in. So at some point in the fall, the Bond movie will go on Paramount Plus.
Has anybody seen what the deals are for these production studios and that? Like what's the money? What's the kickback? What's the dollar amount? Because for so long it was no, we're not going to do it. Obviously, the pandemic has caused them to change their stance and switch up how they release movies. But do we know what the kickback is, or how they're making money off of these for putting them on these services first?
I haven't heard anything on that. Any dollar figures?
That's just something that I think obviously it all comes down to money. So if they're not going to get the revenue from people actually going to the theater itself, how what are they getting to have it put on? Like, what are the services paying to have it put on?
Well, I mean, take Disney for instance. You know, their sole focus, and they've said this in their investor calls, that they're completely focused on Disney Plus. So it's not that they're planning on making a whole. They know they're going to make money in the theater, but their goal is to get subscribers, so they have that recurring monthly income from subscribers. So they know every month they're getting your $6 or whatever it is a month for Disney Plus. They'd rather have that consistent than and be putting on content than having to worry about, are they going to get your money in the theater?
Was there a price on Paramount?
So actually, there's a good deal on Paramount Plus right now.
Don't say that.
It's not bad because it is, I think, $10 a month, $5 to $10 a month, depending on commercials, if you want them or not. But if you pre-order it for a year, it's 50% off right now until it launches this week. So I'm actually thinking about, because you can get it with commercials for $25 for the year.
I gotta see the Paramount coming out.
Yeah, I didn't like CBS All Access, so it kind of makes me hesitant on doing the Paramount Network whenever I've done that. But for $25 for the year to have the movies, I'm thinking about doing it just for that. A couple TV shows they're planning on launching. We talked about Criminal Minds last week. That's going to be a Paramount Plus exclusive. Halo is going to get a Paramount Plus TV show based off the video game. They're bringing back Rugrats. This time it's going to be computer animation. I don't know if you guys saw that or not this week. Yeah. It's all this original voices, but the animation just looks different. The Fairly Odd Parents is going to get a live action remake, which is going to be completely different off of the cartoon. They announced a Frasier reboot, and then Donald for You, Real World, Road Rules, and The Challenge. Yeah, all going to have new episodes on there.
I'd just rather watch the old stuff.
I'm not coughing up my money for that right now.
Me either. Yeah.
No, I'll pass. A couple things for me. I don't know, Chris, if you're done or not, but I just want to
go ahead. Then I have some Disney stuff after.
Yeah. So Nightmare Before Christmas is getting a sequel.
Still never seen the first.
No.
Hey, y'all get on me about stuff.
Moving along. We're not gonna spend time with that. Avatar: The Last Airbender animated movie is getting, I guess, it's in development. So I know that was a big show back in whenever it debuted and that. So the movie that came out was trash. It was really bad. They didn't do the series. I never saw it. They didn't do the series justice. It was only one movie. They spent time on one aspect, and then kind of tried to incorporate the whole story into it. It was bad. So hopefully we'll
do. Yeah. Okay. With the error. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes. We'll see if they do it justice this time around, because I think it has the potential to be a good movie, and also with the way the show is, you can get multiple movies out of it if it's done right. So there's that.
So do you see this right here?
Yeah.
I have a little arrow on my head.
So
I'm bald. So my sister calls me the last airbender sometimes.
That's great. I'm gonna start calling you Aang. That's his name in the show. So I'm gonna start calling you Aang.
You know how bad I still haven't accepted a bald head. That hurts.
You gotta roll with it, bro. You gotta roll with it. Spider-Man 3 officially got its title, called No Way Home. I'm super pumped for that. That Spider-Man's big in my household, especially with my daughter. So we will definitely be tuning in for that. And then I saw
it all connected with Homecoming, Far From Home, and
No Way Home. Yep. And then Marvel announces Loki's premiere date on Disney Plus. So that was announced as well. That's all I got from the movie front. I did watch Tom and Jerry last night with my daughter. It was good. I liked it.
Halfway through it.
It was good.
Stopped. I tried so many times to go back.
Disney, like Steve was saying about, they announced the Loki date. Yeah, a lot of release dates this week. We already knew March 19th is going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier. Looking forward to that. March 26th will be Mighty Ducks. June 11th will be Loki. July 2nd, Monsters at Work. And then July 23rd, they announced a new Chippendale series. So for the kids.
Now, did WandaVision set the bar for you?
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into any of the other Marvel series with the same lens as I did with WandaVision, because WandaVision is so unique and outside of the scope of what they do as far as a series itself and how it's put together. So I can't set that as like, okay, everything is going to be like this because it was told so differently, which I really like that they're doing the assembled series on Disney Plus that gives you the behind the scenes look at what went into filming the shows and how stuff was done in that. So that's going to be good. You know, WandaVision in and of itself is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
They still have not confirmed if there's going to be more than one season.
It has to be like it's too good.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're using these shows to tie into what they're going to do with the movies for Phase 4, then you may not get another WandaVision for a long time. Marvel has always been tight-lipped about what they're doing with their movies, what they're going to give to you, how they release it, and everything else. And with these shows, they've continued to be that way. So yeah, we got one episode left of WandaVision. After that, we'll give you into a couple of weeks, and then we're coming on here and spilling the tea. So get your spoiler alerts out. It will be discussed in depth in a couple of weeks. So there's an FYI on that for you guys. Yeah, but that's all I had TV wise. Couple fat kid items. Guy Fieri is bringing Flavortown Kitchen to Pittsburgh in 2 locations. So if you're a big diners, drive-ins, and dives fan like I am, me and my wife plan on getting a nice RV and driving around the country and eating in our late stage of life. I might venture out and try his food just because. I'll let the initial shock die down. I won't get out there right away because I got a feeling it'll be too packed. Like, what was it? The Wahlburgers.
So this is different. He has a place at the casino where you can go and eat. But the Flavortown stuff, it's only delivery only. There's no restaurant to go to.
Interesting.
So you can go to the casino for his one restaurant. I forget what it's called. But then for the new place, the Flavortown stuff, it's all across the country and it's just delivery only. The weird thing, and I haven't looked more into this, the address that he has for that restaurant, when I pulled it up, it's Bravo at the waterfront. So I don't know if Bravo's making the food and then it's just they have people that are delivering it.
I got it right here. So Flavortown Kitchen website, it's like as you said, it's a delivery service only. Currently lists 5 Pittsburgh area locations: Robinson Township, North Fayette Township, Mount Lebanon, West Homestead, and Station Square. Each location is either a Buca de Beppo or a Bravo Italian Kitchen restaurant. Okay. So if you're in those areas, I'm assuming like for us, Homestead, the waterfront, I can call down, go down there, order it, and get it delivered. So that may be an option since I'm 10 minutes away to try it out and see. So but yeah, that's I have that. And then Jason, I saw on Facebook you comment on it and I was going to bring it up, the Reese cakes.
Yeah, I'm looking for them.
Yeah, I haven't found them with me venturing out to the stores that I was in this week so far. Don't really know if it'll come off well.
I had a friend who found them in a gas station in Florida.
So it's not like a soft cake. It's more like a brownie, from what I saw.
Like a tasty cake thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with the Reese's peanut butter cream on top, and covered with the chocolate. So we'll see if it's good or not. I don't know.
I gotta find it.
You gotta find it first, exactly.
I don't want to order it in bulk online.
You got 3 other fat kids with you.
Jason doesn't share snacks.
100% true. So yeah, I don't have nothing else for the intro. I know we're a half hour into this, but there was a lot of stuff to run through here.
Yeah.
So you guys got your fix of a lot of stuff upcoming, movies, TV wise. Springtime's normally the big go around for Marvel with their movies and their releases. Obviously, it's different this year again, but you can definitely get your fix in other areas. So that's what I got. Oh, Mayans coming back, season 3. I don't know if you guys watch Sons of Anarchy, but Mayans.
I haven't watched Mayans yet, but it's on my list to watch.
The spin-off series from Sons of Anarchy. Mayans is it's not as good as Sons of Anarchy. To me, Sons of Anarchy is a top 5 TV show of all time. From the writing, the character work, the ride that it took you on. Mayans is really good. I'll be interested to see how season 3 comes off because Kurt Sutter's not involved no more. He was fired. And you can go back and read up on that if you want. So he's no longer writing and directing the show. So we'll see if there's a different take on it. But the first 2 seasons were really good. Season 3 set up to be really good. So I'm excited for that. That comes back March 16th, I believe.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think the first 2 seasons are on Hulu, so I might have to go back and watch them.
Yeah, they're on Hulu as long. Tongue-tied, along with Sons of Anarchy. So you can watch the whole 7 seasons Sons of Anarchy.
Sons was good. That was a watch live every week show for me.
Every week, every Sunday that was on. There was no doubt about it. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome to this week's edition of Bell to Bell. Wasn't a very good week in professional wrestling on TV. So I'll open it up to you guys. Where do we want to start?
Well, let's start with probably the greatest thing in wrestling that's, was in 2020 and announcement made 2021. Pat McAfee won Rookie of the Year for wrestling this year. He won by more than 100 votes. Hashtag put the strap on Pat. Well deserved Rookie of the Year. He may retire as Rookie of the Year. There's no other mountain really to climb, as he said on his show this week. But he does want to do it in front.
So you want to put the strap on him, but there's no other mountain to climb.
He does want to do it. He does want to do it in front of fans and get the live fan experience. So maybe there may be a WrestleMania in his future to sell out a stadium as he would, being the draw that he is. But yeah, other than that, wrestling this week was pretty much the shits. I didn't really care for much of anything. I could run through the highlights that I liked from each show. Raw, the backstage segment with Charlotte and Rick was all that I liked from that show. Dynamite, the main event, Phoenix and Archer, was a classic. Ray Phoenix is an absolute star in the ring. There was that. NXT, I did like the no DQ match, the street fight, but I felt it went on a little bit too long. And Johnny Gargano and the way continued to just be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So,
your thoughts on Grimes?
Listen, if Grimes goes through and continues to just mess up the $1 Million Man gimmicks from back in the day when we were kids, which would lead to an eventual return of the $1 Million Man.
Oh, here we go. On that.
Hey, when he punched dude at the end, I was like,
and then SmackDown for me, I like the opening segment, but we can run through the dislikes for me real quick. Did not like the Bianca announcement with Sasha. Didn't like the segment. Didn't like Reginald being involved.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah,
I don't.
There's no point if it being in there.
I don't particularly like the way this version of Sasha is right now. To me, she sounds too much like Carmella when she's talking and giving promos. And I said that back when them two were feuding. If you just listen, it sounds like the same person speaking. The laughing and all that. Like I don't like this version of her. And Bianca, they gave a complete flip flop of the character during the segment. She was the thank you, I won. It's been how many weeks, days, hours, seconds, and then talked about, life lesson her mama gave her and happy and everything else. And then before the call out, she flips onto the girl, and that type of like, you can't flip flop between the characters.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Didn't like that.
Dylan was right in the middle of the segment too.
Yeah, didn't like that. Did not like the Apollo Crews.
No.
And it's not so much the character. It's more WWE being tone deaf in the world of current events. There's a lot of really bad and negative things going on in Nigeria right now. If you don't know and you want to go out there and look it up, you can. But I don't think that's the best way to go with that character right now, based off of all the things that are happening over there.
And I don't know what Apollo Crews' like real nationality is, if he's really from Nigeria.
Yeah,
right? He was born here in the States, though. He was born here, grew up here. You don't need to do the fake accent just to do it.
On the Indies, he was, what was his name on the Indies?
I didn't follow him on the Indies.
No. Go look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you.
Okay. But his delivery felt more natural as this heel.
The delivery felt more natural, but don't, like Chris said, I don't need the in and out with the fake African accent like we had with Kofi with the Jamaican one. Like I don't need that. Like, and then
what he said is someone said how my grandfather would said it. So he may not be committing to the accent.
If he don't commit to it, that's fine.
Yeah.
If it was just part of that promo specifically for those reasons, then okay, I'll give it a pass based off of the promo and what he was doing. But don't turn it into something that's going to be an in and out thing. And then the storyline with Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, and then this championship match at Fastlane. It was originally a tag match, but now we don't know because there was a double count out to end the show. Like, this is why you don't put this pay-per-view on 3 weeks before Mania.
Correct.
Yep.
It's getting too convoluted.
They announced the tag match.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. But Pierce and
an idea.
Sonya talked about it.
It was an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Reigns brought it up again, like, so the tag match is canceled, and Heyman was like, only if Bryan wins. Like,
so we're going to
get a winner. Like, it's stupid. You don't want to keep this pay-per-view before the show. It's dumb. Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio and Otis, and that doesn't do anything for me. That's just.
Hold on, he was like high on Rookie of the Year.
Welcome to my side. Welcome to my side.
He was high. He was on the list.
Man,
I don't buy into him at all, and it's because he's constantly with Ray. Constantly with Ray, and I get it. But at the same time, he's not getting the rub in a good way. Like, it's not coming across, I think as they're hoping it should. So
the whole time, I haven't cared for the storyline with him since the beginning of it.
Mysterio's times are up.
You already get tired of Charlotte and Rick, so why keep trying?
I mean, this is just a retelling of that. They've done this story with Charlotte and Rick before. How many times does she need to tell him to go home? But I agree with Steve. I really enjoyed this week's promo. You could tell that it was actually her real emotion coming through during that.
And when's wrestling the best?
Exactly.
When you weave real life in with the kayfabe, but the real life is good. It's what you can draw on. It's what you can relate to. you can relate to her. You saw her, the range of emotion she went through with that promo. That was one of Charlotte's best promos that she's done.
Yeah.
So like, there's that. AEW Dynamite this week, the Young Bucks and Jericho and MJF. While MJF and Jericho were just, shitty heels. It was terrible to me.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks. First off, if your dad's getting attacked and he's busted open, you're not going to jog back to the area to waste time so that they can run through what they have to do in their segment. It's not going to happen. And then the freaking camera shot of Matt Jackson running down the ramp, he's like, if you go back and please go back and watch it. It is like the fakest run ever.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Nobody runs like that. Nobody runs like that.
I noticed.
Penguins don't even waddle like that. It was terrible.
I know you don't watch Friends, but there was an episode of Friends when Phoebe jogs, and that's exactly what that was.
It did nothing for me. It got me no investment into that feud and that story. And Matt Jackson's on Instagram like, oh, now it's personal. It's like, I don't. No,
the storyline I don't like. I think the match is going to be really good, and I think I can almost go up and down the card of Revolution and say the same thing. Didn't like the story, but it's the Young Bucks versus Jericho and MJF for the tag titles.
So when does Pride and Punishment?
They
already had it. They had it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, they had it. Oh,
they had it last week. Thanks for watching the product and talking
still
about
in DVR.
On a week. Fucking guy.
That was the whole thing. People
Jason.
weren't sure if Pride and Punishment were going to win ahead of time to face MJF and Jericho at the pay-per-view and change it up. But
it's just not good. I didn't get a chance to watch MLW on Wednesday, so I'm behind on that for this week. So I don't have any comments on that. EC3 officially signed with ROH, so he's no longer a free agent. I liked his comeback, his promo. If you go look at his tweet from I think it was back on the 24th. Really good tweet. Fits his character and what he does to a T. So I'm excited to see what he'll do in ROH. I think it'll be a good springboard for him.
Ring of Honor also announced this week their 19th anniversary show is going to be March 26th.
Yep.
So I'll definitely tune in for that. See what's going on.
Watch that. Impact was a decent show this week. They had the announcement of officially recognizing the TNA Championship as a legitimate title now. So you're going to get Rich Swann versus Moose at No Surrender for the Impact Championship, not for the TNT newly recognized heavyweight title.
TNA.
I'm sorry, TNA. TNA. So if this doesn't unify the belts and make it one heavyweight championship, then this whole recognizing the TNA belt is stupid.
Yeah.
It's just a bad story. It's just, even if you're going to make it a second tier title on your show, you can't have it be called the TNA heavyweight championship.
The whole issue that I have with it is the lineage is the same. The TNA Championship has evolved into the Impact Wrestling Championship. It's because of a company name change. It's not like they're different titles. It's the same lineage. So if you try to create a second lineage, it just doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what you do by legitimizing it, because now Moose has to fall in somewhere in there as the TNA champion.
Yeah, like I said, it just, I don't know. This week was.
And I also don't like that they're doing that match on a non-pay-per-view. I think that's deserving of giving Moose a moment. Not that I'm a fan of Moose, but they've been building him up enough that he deserves that.
So I mean, that happens March 13th. Rebellion's not until April 24th.
No.
And that's like their actual official pay-per-view. So yeah, I don't know.
But then who knows if Kenny Omega is going to get factored in the equation after No Surrender? What was it? Is it No Surrender? Is that the event?
Yeah. No Surrender.
So, yeah.
yeah, so I don't know if you guys, like I said, this week in wrestling for me, it's just I didn't really care for much of what I saw this week. I don't know if there were any.
Cesaro swing. That's one. And Zoe Starks on NXT again. She's a good new addition.
I don't know much about her. Obviously, they think very highly of her, given the last 2 matches that she's had.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting Io and Tony, so I'm okay with that.
I kind of wish that was next week to have like a big event all in one night. But
yeah, that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so this upcoming Wednesday is the women's tag titles, and then the week after will be Io and Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of big signings in NXT this week.
Biggest class ever.
Yeah. So the biggest names out of it were Parker Boudreaux, who we've talked about, Rick Steiner's son, Bronson Rick Steiner, and then I don't know her real name, but Taya Valkyrie from Impact.
Yeah, those 3 for me were the 3 that stood out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Parker Boudreaux, he has a lot of social media hype. Paul Heyman discovered him via social media, endorsed him, and put the spotlight on him. The whole Destroyer of Gods gimmick that he has himself right now is fucking classic. And they don't change
Kratos up in here.
I hope they do not give him a different name because he has a perfect
Parker Boudreaux.
Yeah.
It just be Boudreaux.
Or they'll just call him the Destroyer of Gods. That'd be good too.
Yeah. Taya is a great signing. I hope they use her right. She can just add into that already stacked NXT women's division. Don't know when she'll debut, but yeah, I think she's just another great addition. She's been very good everywhere she's gone. So, I know she made her name more in Mexico with AAA and her run here. I first noticed her on Lucha Underground, but she's a definite signee for them. And then, LA Knight is included in that class, former Eli Drake. So that's a 4th name if you want to throw him in there. But yeah, we'll see what comes about it. Their largest class ever. And
what is Priscilla Kelly? Was she
yes. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about her.
She was on the show, but they put her part of that class, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, largest show ever. So our largest class ever. Somebody said that it'll be the year 2024, and Joey Janela's spring break at WrestleMania is going to consist of him going and bailing Teddy Hart out of jail because there's no indie wrestlers left. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic and with indies being shut down and that people got to get paid and one way of getting paid is signing that NXT developmental deal. I think it's around I think 50 to 60 grand.
That's what I've heard too.
For them, so
hey, that's money in the pocket.
Yeah,
right. It's a guaranteed paycheck. So for those indie folks, they can't get out there, can't sell their merch, can't because of the pandemic. I think they're going to be more inclined to sign that deal now than they would have maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know how much that hurts the indies, but we'll see how that plays out. Once we're allowed to start back up again and shows can go on. It'll be interesting to see there. So
speaking of indie shows, the local group IWC here in Pittsburgh, they're going to be back March 20th is going to be one of their next shows. And that'll actually be indoors again. So they were doing stuff down at Washington Wild Things Stadium last year, outdoors.
Where they going at?
Back at Court Time.
Woo!
Court Time.
Back at Court Time. Steve, one of the interesting things there is I saw Josh Alexander is going to be on that card.
Nice. Yeah.
So we were kind of talking about young talent. AEW this week announced another new show It's going to be AEW Dark Elevation starting, I think, the 15th of March. Yeah, Monday, March 15th. They have, on YouTube. They have come out and said this is not the third hour product, that they've been teasing. So there's going to be another show still to come sometime this year. But
yeah, it's not going to be that. Yeah, that third hour on TNT. It's not going to be Elevation. Tony Schiavone and Paul White will be the commentators for Dark Elevation,
which is a really weird signing for that.
Who? Paul White, the Giant?
Yeah.
The Big Show. I don't see. I like the signing. Apparently there was a big difference in money between him and WWE, which allowed AEW to come in and sign him. Don't know what the offer was from WWE, and haven't heard what the offer was from AEW that allowed him to sign. I think from a company standpoint, and people are going to say, well, AEW is just signing up all the old WCW talent, all the old WWE talent, and they're supposed to be different and everything else. But here's my issue, or here's my comment to that is, you have to have people with knowledge, and you gotta have people backstage that have been in the business and through things. And if you're gonna have him backstage and working, I know Dustin works a lot with the women, does promo classes with the women, does in-ring work with the women, with them. You have Arn, you have Tully, you have Malenko, you have Jerry Lynn. Like, you're building a foundation for your company backstage that has a lot of years and a lot of experience across the board. Do I see Paul White, the Big Show, coming in and having a title run? No, I don't. Not at this point in his career. Will he get involved and have a match or two? Probably.
Yes.
I thought he had an ironclad contract
with WWE.
I can't even take him serious.
Don't worry, he'll win the top announcer award next year.
No, I mean, look, like I said, you gotta get people in there that have a name, that are recognizable, and he has a name and is recognizable. He's freaking 7'4". Like, you know what I mean? For me, going out and, like I said, it's kind of the same logic I used with Sting. If you're going into meetings with sponsors, with companies, and all these other things, if you can pull out a Sting, if you can pull out a Big Show, and they've been around, they've been ambassadors for WWE, they know the ins and outs of the business. Jericho, like, you can put these people in a room in a board meeting, and people in there are going to recognize them and see the value in that. Can you do that with the Young Bucks and Hangman and some of these MJF? No, but if you sprinkle them in with these other guys that are established and have been around for 25, 30 years, it's going to be better business-wise. So I'm not going to shit on the signing. I'm not going to say all they're doing is signing WWE talent when they were supposed to be different and now they're WWE light. Like, I'm not going to go with that logic from this standpoint. Over time, it may turn out to be that way, but from a signing aspect, from a business aspect, from what he can bring to your company with a knowledge base and everything else, like, it's a good signing.
I'm going to wait and see, reserve my judgment on if he'll be a good commentator, because I don't know if he's going to be a good commentator or not. He never really has been in that role before. So we'll have to wait and see how he executes that on the upcoming weeks once the show premieres. But I just think AEW is already very announcer heavy, and I didn't feel like we need to bring in somebody from the outside, to be another announcer. I feel like they already have enough people in-house as it is that they could have filled that role fine.
But again, it's for YouTube, it's for online content. So if you're gonna establish AEW Dark and AEW Dark Evolution as being online YouTube content for people to go to. Dark has Excalibur and Taz, which is a really good duo. Sprinkled in every now and again with surprise with individuals, and then if you have Elevation with Shivani and Big Show, like it gives each show a different feel based off of the commentary. It's not Michael Cole and Corey Graves every single week, or you know what I mean. Like you're going to get a different feel for a different show, and the number one way to do that is to have different people doing your commentary.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see how he does. So
you guys are fucking silent, shitting all over everything.
I'm okay with him doing the backstage stuff. I just don't want to see him on the screen.
Not even as a commentator?
Commentator, I'm okay with because you're not on the screen.
But so he's supposed to be on this week on Dynamite, so it's going to be something with him and Shaq.
It's like I can hear you. That's fine. I don't want to see you on camera at all.
All right, well then let's get into something that will get people pissed off. And that the Wrestling Observer came out with their year-end awards. As I mentioned before, Pat McAfee won Rookie of the Year. Well deserved. Cheers to you. Probably the highlight of all these award winners.
He had a better rookie year than AJ Styles. I'll give him that.
Oh, get the hell out of here. Is it time for drink of the week yet?
Yeah, I think it is.
So just gonna run through some of these here, and we can, if you want to pause on it to agree or disagree, say pause, and then we can talk about each one. We'll do it that way.
Ready.
So the Lou Thesz Ric Flair award for that's of the year goes to John Moxley. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh no, I'm good. Go ahead. Yeah. He won. Was it Sports Illustrated Wrestling? No, PWI. I'm not going to disagree.
PWI 500. He was number one.
Yeah.
For me, for this award, I would have went with Roman Reigns. And people are going to say, well, he missed all that time off because of COVID and everything else. However, wasn't Roman Reigns champion before he left for COVID?
True.
In the beginning part of the year, wasn't Roman Reigns the top guy in WWE? Mm-hmm. Since Roman Reigns has come back, hasn't he been probably the number one guy in WWE? Arguably, probably the best character out of anybody in wrestling right now. I would give it to Reigns based on
revitalized Jay and Kevin.
Yeah.
Where did Reigns fall in?
I didn't see the breakdown for each individual award. I'm just looking at the highlights for the winner from the award. I don't know.
I'm gonna pull that up.
Was he seventh?
Seventh? He couldn't. There's no way he's seventh.
Oh, WWE was like low on every list.
No, just remember, this is all fan voting too. This is
all fan voting, right? So
he was eight.
He was eight.
He was eighth overall for Wrestler of the Year.
Drew McIntyre was 5.
Move on.
Yeah.
Bailey was 6.
Move on.
Most outstanding wrestler winner, current AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. I don't know the parameters or the criteria for what most outstanding wrestler means. Like,
there's no criteria. It's just all fan voting. There's no criteria for it.
Okay, that sounds like an Offense Player of the Year and MVP. It's
okay.
Everything's all right in. That's all it is.
All right, Tag Team of the Year was the Young Bucks.
I'm not surprised.
But they didn't do anything.
They do, yeah.
To be Tag Team of the Year.
Dawn, Sasha and Bailey were 5 if you wanted to know.
Next.
Who would you put?
This is basically like high school superlatives. It's just all popularity contests, basically.
Would you put Kenny and Page above him?
Above Young Bucks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those four had match of the year on this list, which I would agree with that. I know I gave a different one on our breakdown, but I mean, like that match, at last year's Revolution was probably the best tag match I've seen in a really long time.
I think it was
my. Go ahead, no, good.
Yeah, that was my number 2 match of the year because I like Iliad and Walter. That was my match of the year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Best on interviews, Eddie Kingston.
I don't hate it, but
I got no complaints with that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I don't know if that would have been my choice, but
it just feels like the same thing every week with him.
But he did make you get ready for his matches. I mean,
talks you into the building.
Yeah.
If you like Eddie Kingston matches, you fall for scams. You fall for telephone scams. That's how I feel about it.
Steve's triggered.
What kind of shit?
Promotion of the year, AEW.
I go with that.
Yeah. I'll agree.
Best weekly TV show, Dynamite.
Yeah.
NXT for me.
Match of the year, we already went over Young Bucks and versus Page and Omega. And then it got into United States, Canada MVP, Japanese MVP, Mexico MVP, Europe MVP. So for US and Canada, it was Moxley. Japanese was Naito. Mexico was Phoenix. And Europe was Walter. I don't even know how you give a Europe MVP because they were locked down longer than us.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only show was NXT UK. So
yeah,
but I mean that was off for how long? Mm-hmm. Almost the entire pandemic that we've been on lockdown. They just recently started bringing that back.
Yeah, I think that started back in August again. September.
Yeah. Women's wrestling MVP was Bayley. I'll agree with that.
I'll give that. Yeah.
Feud of the year, Moxley versus Kingston.
No.
Mm-hmm. Most improved, Britt Baker. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't have an argument against that.
No. She really elevated herself character work wise while she was out with the injury.
Yeah.
She's probably one of the best people for 2020.
I'll put Silver Jungle Boy above that.
For most improved?
Yeah.
I don't hate that either.
Or even Aaliyah in NXT.
I don't think
Aaliyah doesn't do much for me, but
I don't think she's had enough TV time.
Yeah, she hasn't. But me, she's got so much
with you, but I don't think she's been on TV enough to be considered there. Most charismatic, MJF. Whatever. Best technical wrestler, Brian Danielson Award, Zack Sabre Jr.
Number 2 was Daniel Bryan.
Bruiser Brody Memorial Award for Best Brawler, John Moxley. Best Flying Wrestler, Ray Phoenix.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, Phoenix is insane. That freaking Spanish fly he hit on Lance Archer. Like, I came up off the couch a little bit. There's no way. And kudos to Archer for being agile enough for the freaking big man he is, and he can do some athletic shit too that will make your jaw drop. Most overrated, Bray Wyatt. Most underrated, Ricochet. I don't agree with Wyatt being overrated.
Me either. How is he overrated?
Rookie of the year, obviously we don't need to say that. Greatest wrestler, Pat McAfee. Best non-wrestler, Taz. What does that even mean? I told you he's transforming into Mick Foley more and more every single week.
So,
do they have a best announcer?
Yeah, Excalibur.
Oh, okay.
It's the worst is all WWE. The whole
worst announcer is Michael Cole.
That's of course.
I was all in WWE.
Cole's trash.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. He is.
You know what else I noticed this week that I don't like? SmackDown. So they did they did a recap of Big E being stretchered out before Cruz came out. Cruz comes out. They run the entire video package of him taking Big E out, which led to Big E being on the stretcher. So it was a recap for the recap. And they do that a ton. I hate it.
I was going to mention that about NXT because before EO and Zoe Stark comes out. They do a vignette with what is it? They did who's his tweet? What's his name? Adam Cole. They do a tweet with him. They do a Cameron Graham segment. Then they run to EO.
just come out.
You didn't relate to the match.
No.
And then what I also saw, and this was the first time I noticed it on NXT this week, the freaking sponsorships are getting worked into the commentary on NXT, just like they are with Progressive and Match Flow. They did it with Burger King this week.
Yeah.
It's taking me out from NXT. Why I love NXT. Don't start plugging the sponsors on the show. It's gonna turn into freaking Raw and SmackDown.
I mean, that's because it's on. That's the main reason why, because it's on USA. I mean, I think if it was still just on the network, you probably wouldn't see that. But I'm sure that's USA sponsorships being worked in. Best major wrestling show. So this would be best major wrestling pay-per-view for the year. AEW's Revolution. That was a really solid show. I don't know what pay-per-view you would put above that. Worst wrestling show, so worst pay-per-view of the year was WWE Super Showdown.
So look, their list was all WWE except for All Out.
Best wrestling move, Omega's One Winged Angel. I don't like the One Winged Angel, and I can think of a bunch of other finishers that I like way better than that. Most disgusting promotional tactic.
All WWE.
WWE firing people during a pandemic, during a year where they're set profit records.
That really wasn't a promotional tactic, though.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't. I mean, the voting I don't get for this. However, they were the only company that fired people during the pandemic.
But they fire people every year.
No, but I mean, like,
not the way they did this year, though.
It was specifically because of the pandemic.
Yeah, they used to do a big firing like that every year, and then they got away. I'm not going to really get into politics, but there's a reason that has to do with politics why they weren't firing people for a long time, why they were hoarding talent.
Worst TV show was Raw. I agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
Worst match of the year was Strowman versus The Fiend in the Swamp Fight. That was god awful. Worst feud of the year was Wyatt and Strowman. Best gimmick, Orange Cassidy. Worst gimmick, The Fiend. The Fiend isn't the worst gimmick in pro wrestling.
Oh, he was the best gimmick last year.
Yeah, but I mean, what he did this year was. Yeah, no, it's definitely not the worst.
What was he on the best, Jason? He was what number?
He was on the best and worst.
Yeah, he on the best and worst.
He was number 8 on the best, number 1 on the worst.
Yeah, and then best pro wrestling book, Young Bucks Killing the Business. I did read that. That was a really good book. And then best pro wrestling documentary was Dark Side of the Ring, Owen Hart.
Speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, they did announce this week the first official announcement is the WCW New Japan Collision in Korea. It was kind of teased already, but they officially announced it this week.
But that's not what they're premiering with.
I don't know what they're premiering with. That was their first announcement.
They're from what I saw and this may change, but from what I saw, they're premiering with the 2-part Brian Pillman loose
That would
cannon.
make sense.
That would be a real good one to start off the season.
Yeah.
To get the eyes on the product, or like a wrestler. A lot of people care.
I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about this week or not, and I had to pull it up real quick. But see, WWE announced the deal with A&E for doing an 8-part documentary series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're doing it on Jake the Snake, Stone Cold, Jake the Snake, Macho Man, Bret Hart, Booker T. Trying to remember Mick Foley, HBK, and I can't remember who.
They said that is going to be the first episode.
What's that?
Stone Cold's going to be the first episode. They announced
Stone Cold. Yeah. Okay.
Of course. Get eyes on the product.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if these weren't WWE produced documentaries, I'd be all on board for them.
They're not. So it's more A&E produced.
Who's going to sign off on it?
Yeah, but it's not WWE people that made it. It was A&E hired different directors and producers.
But since WWE is going to be a part of it somehow,
it's going to be their version of history. But it should be a little different feel, I'm sure, than what normal WWE documentaries are.
But you're getting a documentary. You're not getting like the dark side type thing. That's going to be so So if it's a documentary, no matter whose side you get,
like they teased with Sean, they're like the little teaser they had with his story was about his drug addiction. Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to get, his real story, but whatever their real story is. But
will you get Sean?
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Is he going to talk about everything, like you said, his drug addiction and his bar fight and all that stuff? I'm going
to tune in and watch them, but I just don't know. I just don't know if it'll come off as not WWE. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have that WWE polish on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it will. I really do.
I'm actually excited for the show that's going to debut with that Triple H and Stephanie are doing to find memorabilia. So that'll be on, I guess, like right afterwards. So it'll be like a 2-hour block, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like in American Pickers, where they're around trying to find lost wrestling memorabilia.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting because it'll be someone will travel. Like
it's all in their warehouse right now.
Yeah, probably. Like supposed to be like Flair's gonna travel with them one episode to find a robe that's been missing of his or something. So,
and then Finn Balor tweeted out him, Triple H, and Conor McGregor standing in the ring together as a match to do in Ireland for a pay-per-view over there, which isn't the NXT UK pay-per-view to take over, isn't that in Ireland?
Yeah, in Dublin.
So don't know if that'll come about, but if it does, it'll definitely draw eyes for sure.
So it's like I thought about that, like, okay, it's not a big event, it's not anything huge for that, but at the same token, all these events are going to be on Peacock now. So Peacock can promote the hell out of it. Doesn't necessarily need to be a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam because you're going to find it in the same place.
Right.
They could promote the hell out of it. It'd be great promotion for NXT, but something tells me that they would probably do something different, more under a real WWE banner than an NXT banner.
Yeah, and then I think the last thing that I saw in wrestling this week, rest in peace, prayers and thoughts for Josephus Hudson, who on NWA Power, you know him as the question mark. If you're not familiar with him, go look him up. Great character. That the question mark gimmick got over so huge, and it's one of those things in pro wrestling that you would look at it and go, okay, this would never get over. Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. How is this going to work? And it got over, and it got over big. So, untimely passing. Thoughts and prayers to his family and friends. He was not necessarily a household name, but if you saw the tweets and everything that came out throughout the week, he was definitely somebody that was respected within the industry and the business, and just unfortunately didn't get a chance to become a bigger name than what he was already within the industry.
Yeah. Did they say, not that it matters, but they say what happened?
No, just that he passed away suddenly from an undiagnosed medical issue.
Okay.
So, yeah. Other than that, I don't have much else for.
The only other thing that I had this week, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. The past couple of years they've gone back and forth on what to do with World Championships. You know, a couple of years ago they got rid of. They claimed that WWE was going to be the only official World Championship that they recognized. Just because they're the top of the game, and so they didn't recognize any other promotion as a World Championship. They've kind of gone back on that, and starting with I think their next issue, they're pretty much going to recognize everybody again. So Impact, AEW, New Japan, CMLL, and the list really can go on and on with all the promotions that they're going to recognize as world championships again. So
by the crickets, nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. All right, let's get into some drinking.
All right.
Chug, 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 chug.
This week's Drink of the Week segment is brought to you by alcohol, the solution to and the cause of so many of life's problems.
Hopefully this week it's a solution.
Yes. This week we will be reviewing the We All Scream Imperial Stout from Hitchhiker Brewing Company, located here in Pittsburgh. It is a strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate Imperial Stout. It is 10% alcohol. So this one will get you fucked up.
Yeah, buddy.
As you can see by the can itself, it has the Neapolitan ice cream look to it with the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. So I'm excited to try this one. Hitchhiker, like I said, it's a good local craft brewery here in Pittsburgh. So let's.
Thanks for getting the can this week. Appreciate it.
What'd you say?
Said thanks for getting the can this week. I appreciate it.
No MacGyver hacks this week needed.
Oh, and FYI, I'm the dumb mark that told you those weren't twisties, and they actually are twisties. I found that out this week when I opened one up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that actually was a twist off.
No, ours were.
Yours were on.
Yeah.
I always pop anyone off with a can opener.
I don't think that's possible that some are twist off and some aren't.
No.
All right. Well, let's get into this.
Different. Do you love it?
Can we get like a wheat beer on here somewhere?
I like that a lot. I definitely taste the,
it's
the strawberry is very heavy for me. Is it anybody
strawberry is the flavor that stands out the most. However, I do taste the vanilla and the chocolate.
The vanilla chocolate, yes, I do too.
It's definitely, to me, it's definitely like a spiked version of Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah,
for sure. It's heavier. Obviously, it's a stout, so it's definitely on the heavier side. More along the Guinness and Murphy's as far as like weight to it. But this, to me, this is really good. 10% alcohol. You don't need a lot of these, which with it being a heavier stout, you drink, say 2 or 3 of these, and you'll be smooth sailing for the rest of the night.
Donald, you gonna drink 20 of these?
No. No.
Maybe eating so much sweets in my life has like ruined beer for me.
Ruin your palate?
Ruin my palate. I don't taste shit.
Really? You don't get any flavor? You don't taste any flavor at all?
I don't get no flavor in any of these. I just get the harsh beer.
No, there's definitely a flavor profile for sure with this.
Yeah, this one, yeah, definitely.
The thing that I love about this is, I kind of was one of my negatives last week that the smell and the taste didn't match up. For me, the smell and the taste with this really match up, and I really like that.
Oh yeah, no, I'll go around 1 to 5 sumo scales. I'll give this a solid 4 as far as smell, taste, like everything. This is, and it'll get you hammered. It's 10% alcohol, so if you're looking for something that'll get you crushed to where you don't have to drop a lot of money because you're drinking 12 Miller Lights, this is definitely the way to go. So I'll give it a 4.
I'm not surprised that the way the flavor profile comes out, like that the strawberry is more overpowering. That's the way it is whenever you even eat the Neapolitan ice cream.
Right.
The strawberry is always more flavorful than the chocolate and the vanilla. It's just the way it is. But like I said, I smell it, and whenever I take that sip of it, it matches. I really like that. I agree. I think it's a solid 4.
Donald?
Just like everybody said.
Chugging it. And I don't know if he's chugging it because he doesn't like it and he just wants to finish it, or if he's just like, I'm on my Saturday day, fuck it. And
just like you two said, you can smell the ice cream, you can taste the ice cream. But again, since it's a dark beer and it's definitely a stout, I'll give it a 3.
Jay, were you practicing for Irish car bombs in a couple weeks?
Yes. I'm gonna give it a 2 because it went down smooth.
No, I love it.
No.
I love it. Yeah. I would if you're in the Pittsburgh area, and I don't know if Hitchhiker, distribution wise, if they ship it all, but if you're in the local Pittsburgh area, I would definitely go and seek this one out. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you're a stout drinker. This one is definitely on the upside as far as stouts for me, based off of what we've reviewed so far. So
I don't know what their distribution is. I do know that at least local 6-pack shops do get their beer. So, but I don't know how far out you can get it.
All right, yeah, no, this one was definitely, as the can has the Hitchhiker with the Hitchhiker thumb at the bottom. I'm going to give this one a thumbs up for me, and go with the 4 out of 5. So 2 4s, a 3, and a 2. Jason remains consistent with the 2, and next week we'll get him a nice little wheat beer to review.
I will say the burps are kind of good afterwards. Not gonna lie.
That aftertaste.
Yeah, you get the smell. You get the.
All right, well that was this week's review for the Hitchhiker We All Scream Imperial Stout. So as always, pick up your cans, bottles, glasses, brown paper bags, red Solo cups, whatever you're drinking out of with this week. Raise them high into good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. Best ships are friendships, and friends will always be. Salute.
Cheers.
Now I smell it.
Jason, you get COVID tested if you're just starting to smell
it. Hey, that was the beginning for me.
Sports.
What happened in sports?
This time of year is a little rough in sports.
Tiger.
A lot of rumors and innuendo in the world of professional football and the NFL. Russell Wilson came out supposedly and approved a trade to 4 teams: Cowboys, Saints, Bears, and Raiders were his 4 that he would be open to if Seattle wants to trade him. He hasn't demanded a trade, sources say, but so who knows whose camp leaked what, but obviously Russ is thinking about moving. I don't know why those 4 teams were given. The Saints, obviously, I think, with Breeze out the door, even though he hasn't said whether or not he's coming back, but I think he's done. He's going to retire. Don't know if the Saints what they would give up. Seattle's come out and said 3 first-round draft picks. is the asking price for Russ. So,
and he has a hell of a contract too. So
hell of a contract, yeah.
Somebody cap space for that,
right? Cowboys, they have so many issues. I don't. You know, if you're going to bring in Russ and you don't pay Dak,
makes no sense.
is Russ an upgrade over Dak? I think that's arguable.
Slightly, I'd say slight.
But they have so many other issues. I
Yeah.
don't think plugging Dak in is going to automatically make them a top contender in the NFC, given all the other teams that are out there.
Yeah.
The Bears is an interesting one. That defense can ball out for sure. If you bring Allen Robinson back and you add Russ to that mix, I think there's a lot of potential with the Bears there. You know, and the Raiders, Gruden, offensive mind, I think that's an upgrade over Carr for sure. But their defense is so trash. You know, it's going to be the same thing with Seattle. Although his offensive line would be better in Oakland. He has way more, weapons wise, it's comparable to what he has in Seattle. Josh Jacobs is there. You got Ruggs. You know, Aguilar turned out to be a good signing for them last year. So there's potential there weapons wise. Offensive line is definitely an upgrade. But I think out of those four, New Orleans is too tight against the cap. They're too hamstrung. I don't think they'll be able to swing that. Would Sean Payton give up 3 first-round draft picks to get Russ? Potentially. You know, you want to put it past them. Chicago, in my eyes, would make the most sense just from the standpoint of their defense is ready now, can win a championship now as far as defense goes. And if you bring Allen Robinson back with the weapons there, that upgrade over Russ, that definitely turns that team around instantly. So we'll see what comes about with that there.
And also sticking with football, Big Ben's supposed to be coming back.
So yeah, there's not a supposedly, although there were conflicting reports this week. You know, Aditi, I'm not going to try pronouncing her last name because I'll butcher it, but the main beat reporter for the Steelers, she was the one that broke the news that Big Ben will be back. He met with Mr. Rooney, and you know, they came out of it that he will be back this week. However, in her interview on 93.7 The Fan, she said that she did receive a text from a source inside the building that said it is not a done deal. So it could fall apart at the negotiation table, which, again, it's all going to boil down to money. Does the Steelers have so many holes and so many free agents and so little cap space? Ben coming back doesn't make any sense.
I'm with you.
Doesn't make any sense. You know,
it's going to hurt the team.
As much as I'm a diehard Steeler fan, they are not going to win the Super Bowl next year if Ben returns. They have too many holes offensively. It's not something that's going to be fixed in 1 year. You know, I just don't see it. And you know, for me, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Like, call it a career, give him his $22 million, take the cap hit, and let him move on. I did see that the latest, I want to say, I think it was ESPN. I don't know if it was ESPN mock draft, but one of the bigger mock drafts this week had the Steelers drafting Justin Fields.
I did see that yesterday. Yeah.
So they're in a spot at 24 where if they don't make a move up, you know, I think as much as everybody would want to see Najee Harris come here and fix the running back situation, doesn't matter how good your running back is. If your offensive line is shit, it's not going to make a difference. So
I see reports for Jones from Green Bay.
I saw that too.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to pay him.
Yeah, they're not going to pay him.
I mean, I saw like Naheem Hines floated out, or not Naheem Hines, Marlon Mack floated out there for like $2 to $5 million as a possible for the running back. He's coming off an injury. They could afford that type of salary for a year or two, you know, spread it out. But I think
Hunter was coming back, but that could be false.
I think at the end of the day, you need to address your offensive line.
Number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
if Fields falls to you at 24, which I don't think will happen,
No.
but if it's an Aaron Rodgers situation where he falls to 24, just like he did at Green Bay,
I say grab him.
You immediately turn that card in.
Mm-hmm.
You
Definitely
immediately turn that card in. You run with Ben for this year, and then you hand the keys over to Justin Fields. Mason can go. You can draft another backup quarterback, and then you build around Fields from that standpoint. You know, was Ben the issue this year as to why they fell off down the stretch? Absolutely not. No. Was he a contributing factor? Yes, but if you know football and you watch football, you know that offensive line and the injuries to that O-line and then the injuries on defense was the reason why that team faltered down the stretch. You can't be last in the league. You can't have a 30-second rush attack and also have the highest drop percentage of any team, any offensive team in the league, and expect to win. It's not going to happen. Early in the year, when they were rolling and everything else, they weren't dropping passes, so the running game was kind of masked in that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But once the drops started coming in, the injuries on both sides of the ball, it just wasn't going to work out. So to put all the blame on Ben, I'm not going to do that. But was he a contributing factor? Yeah. Him coming back, does that make a difference? No.
Mm-hmm. If you bring him back, you're grooming the next guy. There's no, I'm not part knowledge. There's no, we're not speaking. You're grooming the next guy coming up.
But
that means they have to have that. And do they have that?
No, they don't, which makes this makes even less sense because Mason's on his last year of his rookie deal. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to give Mason, you're not going to pay Mason if he goes 16 games this year and doesn't play because Ben's back. You're not going to pay him.
Yeah.
So now you're delaying the inevitable for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like, either fix your quarterback situation now, and the offensive linemen in this draft, especially tackle-wise and center-wise, which they need upgrades on, tackle's deep enough that you can get a really good tackle in the second and third round, and you can get a center that's a top-tier center in, say, the third or fourth round. So you can pick up pieces to fix your offensive line, but quarterback, you got to make that decision. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to move up the draft one? If somebody falls to you, are you going to take it? If it's Mac Jones or Justin Fields or Kyle Trask falls, is that where you're going to go?
Yep.
Are any of those three upgrades over Mason Rudolph? I would say I would roll the dice and say yes. Yeah. To me, Mason Rudolph is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He's a good forward. He's a backup.
And they have to. The quarterback have to get addressed this offseason for sure. Like it has to. Like their backs are against the wall. Like there's no if and buts about it.
Yeah. So there's that.
Then did you see that Juju wants to stay? He put out a statement.
That's spin.
I doubt that's going to happen.
Mark Madden, radio show host from the X here in Pittsburgh, was on Pat McAfee show this week, and he said, which I agree with. He said Juju said that so that way whenever he signs a deal for 14, 15 million somewhere else, which is not top tier wide receiver money, but that is,
good enough for him.
Top 10 wide receiver money, which is where I think Juju would fall. That he can say, hey, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could. Financially, it just didn't work out, so I'm moving on. Do I think Juju will get 14 to 16 mil a year in the open market? Probably. Is he worth 14 to 16 million? People can debate that all they want. I don't think Juju's a true number one. But if you pair him up with somebody, he's definitely more than capable of being a solid, if not upper echelon number two, like a 1B. You know what I mean? Not a straight number two, but a 1B. They just got a lot of issues. A lot of issues. So and it's not just them. There are a lot of teams that are in the same ballpark that the Steelers are in. They knew this year was going to be a rough year. They knew this year, even if the cap would have increased, was going to be a rough year for them.
Too many free agents to sign.
Yeah, you have 17 restricted and unrestricted free agents. who you use the franchise tag on. Like there's just a lot.
Yeah.
So,
And how do you lower the salary cap and then want to add an extra game?
so the reasoning with the cap being lowered is they're taking the hit from this year.
Mhm.
Now, this is what's been reported. I don't know how true this is or not, so don't quote me on this, but the number is projected to be around 175, 180 for the cap. Yeah. If it was a normal year without COVID, it would have been possibly 210, 216 for the cap. Either way, the Steelers would have been hamstrung and tight either way. But the thinking with having the cap at like 175, 180 is to offset the revenue loss from this year and kind of spread it out over the next 5 or so years. And then until the next TV deal hits. So like you may get like a 180, 190, 200. Like you may have 3 years where it's around the same number and then you'll get a spike up based off of, new TV deal, revenue coming back in once fans are allowed back in and all that. I don't think by the time the NFL kicks around and rolls and starts up in the fall, I think they're going to try to get as much money as possible. So whatever the max capacity is in your state where your team lives that you are allowed to have for an outdoor setting, I think stadiums will be filled to that capacity. I don't think NFL goes through another year where they don't have stands across the field.
Yeah, they need that ticket money. They need that concession money. They need that parking money. They need everything.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that I saw this week, and this will tie into tonight, Chris, you may have to pull this up for me because I don't have it up right now. But
okay.
ESPN MMA announced that I'm going to mispronounce the last name, but Figueiredo and Moreno, they're going to run it back. They're going to run it back. They'll be fighting on June 12th. UFC. They had a fucking banger in December. So the fact that they're going to run these two back again, I'm super excited for that. Just goes on to show the cards that UFC is putting out this year. Tonight we have UFC 258 tonight, right?
No, that's next week.
That's next week.
Yeah, March 6th.
It's just a regular
fight
night.
Just a fight night. Yeah.
Okay.
But this card is this is a big card though tonight though, right? Even with it being a fight night.
Tonight
or am I getting my weeks confused?
I think you're getting your weeks confused. Tonight is Gain versus Rosenstruck. So this is on ESPN Plus tonight. Next week, March 6th, is 259, which is the 3 title fights.
Okay. Next week. Yeah. The Beast, Derek Lewis last week. Yo, that knockout he had of Curtis Blades. Insane. Insane. He tweeted out, he said, I can't wait for Black History Month to be over so I can make fun of Blades for that knockout. He is a spectacle in the ring. He was a plus 350 underdog going into that fight. He's had knockout after knockout. At some point, I don't know if he's ever going to be a title holder, but at some point, Dana's going to have to think about moving him up and putting him into an upper echelon fight with one of these top-ranked contenders. Blades, I think, was the 4th ranked in the division, and he knocked him out. So, I mean, only 3 people ranked higher, and he KO'd the dude bad. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see where this year shakes out for him and for the Black Beast and see what comes about for him as far as next fights go. But UFC is rolling as far as cards go and matchups, and they haven't done anything wrong since these big time cards were announced starting this month in February and rolling all through June.
I'm really looking forward to next week's fight. Like, the past couple that we've talked about, I said, I'm not really going to go on my way to watch them. Next week, I'm probably going to go on my way to watch that event.
Oh yeah, next week whether it's I throw down myself or I get a couple of people to pitch in on it and we get it. We'll definitely next week for sure. I'll be watching that, absolutely. All right. Sports wise, that was like I didn't have anything else. It was light this week for real.
I got two things. Albert Pujols said he'll retire at the end of the season. So
he's still playing?
Yeah, he's still playing. And he'll probably take a front office job after he's done. They're saying
so how many home runs is he off of the record by? Where does he sit at all time?
No clue. Mm-hmm.
If we were smart, not doing much,
yeah,
we had
the information already.
We had this research done before we got on the show to actually talk about it.
Then while we figured that out, another thing, Notre Dame said they're opting out of the NCAA football game that's coming out. They said they don't want a part of it until they figure out what the rules are for it. So you're not going to get Notre Dame in the new college game.
Good. Yeah. Nobody used them anyway. Our Pujols is at 662.
662.
Yeah.
What Bonds finish with?
750.
763, I think.
Oh, you got the number tattooed on you?
No.
You got that ripped off the top. You didn't have to research it. Damn.
It's Mr. Baseball. Come on now.
I mean, listen, Pujols is a definite Hall of Famer. I mean, his batting average is 299, hits 3,236, home runs 662, RBIs 2,100. Like, there's no doubt he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
The freaking Baseball Writers Association is just their whole 75% to get in the Hall is just ridiculous. But
did he play most of his career in St. Louis, which is
St. Louis. He's won World Series, like
which is quote unquote, baseball city. So yeah, he's definitely going first ballot.
Yeah.
No ifs and no buts about it.
I don't have nothing else in sports. It was a light week, like I said. NFL, there was some scuttlebutt. I will say this though, as far as the quarterback carousel goes, it's going to be real interesting to see where everybody lands and who's left without a seat at the table.
Yeah.
So, like, potentially you could have Jameis Winston and Cam Newton not have a job at all this year.
How long did Cam Newton go without a job?
FCF.
8 months. He went 8 months.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Greatest sportsman of all time. If you guys have not watched Fan Control Football on Twitch, go on to Twitch tonight. There's going to be
two games tonight. Yeah,
watch it. It is the greatest league ever.
That was fun.
That was.
Listen, like I said last week, if you go into it with the idea and the mindset of I'm going to be entertained and not as like, oh, I'm a football purist and this is shitting on the game. No, it's not what this is. This is real life Madden. Okay, this is video game meets reality, and it's actually being played in real time. It's fantastic. The fact that you can call a defensive player off the field, is great.
The power-ups were kind of questionable.
The power play.
That was kind of.
That's like okay. So we have the Madden aspect, right, where the fans control the plays, right, in real time and everything else. But then you add in NFL Street into the mix, and I can add power-ups. God,
who's the one you can flip the field?
We need to invest. We need to invest. We need the four of us pitch in the $150. We can become an owner of a team. We'll get a pin, a commemorative pin, everything, and we'll be out here promoting the shit out of it every week.
Did anybody log in all the way?
No.
I
missed the first game, but I watched
pick one team, and I didn't know who to pick, so I'm still stuck.
I watched the second game and with the Glacier Boys coming back. They were down for a bit, and then they came back in overtime, and that was pretty good.
It was very entertaining.
It's super entertaining. I'm telling you, go watch it. You guys will not be disappointed. This league is on to something. I hope it sticks around. They have a multi-year deal. I don't see it going anywhere. Twitch is the perfect platform for it. Check it out. Log in. Watch it. You won't regret it. It will kill
Tonight's week 3, so next week is the end of regular season. Then week 5's playoffs, and week 6 the championship.
That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Tune in. What time are the games tonight?
I think 8 and 9 o'clock Eastern again.
Okay. Yeah, log in, guys. Hop on Twitch. Check it out. Fan Control Football, FCF. Search it on your Twitch. It'll come up. You will not be disappointed.
No.
Will not be disappointed. Fantastic. I forgot about that from last week.
It did. Tiger Woods. Everybody knows on the news and all that stuff. So
any update on him at all?
They just said he moved into another hospital.
Yeah, he had
spirits and stuff. So
yeah, he issued a statement. Through his, it came out from him on social media, but I think it was through his agent or his team. But he got transferred over. Starting to start the recovery process. So apparently, there was no evidence of any like impairment. He was awake and lucid when they got him pulled out of the car. So no like driving under the influence or pills or anything like that. Like none of the stuff that when Tiger had his downfall was brought into it. Just a crazy situation. Like he went up over a median, across oncoming traffic, past the telephone pole, through some trees, and then rolled down over an embankment. Mm-hmm. So who knows what happened, how it happened. I don't know if those details will ever come out, but the fact that he did all those things and was survived is like a major thing here. Like Rory McIlroy came out this week. He was asked about it, and he said, "Listen, golf is the furthest thing from this guy. We shouldn't even be talking about golf. We should be thankful that he's still with us, that he's still alive, that his kids still have their dad, and there's no reason to even bring up golf in this situation." So,
Absolutely.
It's going to be a long road back if he ever comes back. If he does come back and tease it up again, I mean, he had enough health issues as it was with his back and everything else that was limiting him over the course of the last several years. So
he don't even need to win a tournament. Just if he comes back and just swing, that first driver.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
It was multiple leg injuries.
His right leg got a rod in it, and his ankle shattered, so it's got screws and plates all through it.
Yeah, so
and they said too, if his seatbelt saved him, because if he didn't have a seatbelt on, he would have been thrown from the truck.
I mean, they like if you saw the clips, like the overhead shot from the helicopter, like every single airbag in that vehicle was deployed. The front end was completely smashed in. Like it was a bad accident. So.
And lucky there was like no oncoming traffic in the other lane. Like you said, he missed the telephone pole. Like he would have hit that.
Missed the telephone pole. Missed several trees. Like just crazy. So yeah.
Like you said, at least he's still here with us.
That's right. Yeah. Because whenever I saw the news, I was like, "Damn, Kobe all over again."
Yeah.
That's what it felt
like.
Same
thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, I don't know if we want to talk about it, but the Meek Mill rap lyric. I'll say this. It was very
tasteless.
Yeah, tasteless is a good word for it. If you don't know what the lyric is, it's out there. Go look it up, listen to it, whatever. Supposedly Meek Mill spoke with Vanessa Bryant and they talked about it, and he did apologize. She issued a statement on her Instagram saying, "Hey, if you're a fan of my husband, there's way other ways that you can remember him." They talked about it on Joe Budden's podcast a lot. So if you want to deep dive into it, go check out Joe Budden's podcast and listen to it on there. But tasteless was a very good word for that, Jay. Good coin there.
I mean, they've done it so many times in rap that, I mean, even when comparing them, it's all tasteless. So,
yeah. All right, that's this week in sports. Let's get into the main event. Let's go.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 26 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Remember that we're live every Saturday at 11 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So please subscribe, like, and follow our social media pages. This way that you get notifications when we do go live. Our audio-only edition of the podcast is released every Monday, so you can find that wherever podcasts are available. And you can subscribe to our social media pages of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DumbMarksPod, or message us during the shows via email at dumbmarkspod@gmail.com.
Now,
anything else before we get into One Gotta Go?
No,
yeah, that all-screen beer, man, it's hitting me right now.
listen, Chris, you hyped up this One Gotta Go, and if this falls short,
you're no longer picking. You're heading over the rain.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
I don't know if you're ready.
Let's go.
Easy.
This is not difficult at all.
Easy.
Okay.
Not difficult at all. Chris, since we are the Caucasian descent on this show, and since it is Black History Month, as I have my Cuddy Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes inspired Equal Justice Initiative shirt, where 100% of the proceeds go to Equal Justice Initiative, go over to Pro Wrestling Tees and buy a shirt there.
And I just have a white woman.
Surprise, surprise.
Listen, Jay, that alone, I'm going to tell you to go just with that alone. So, Chris, since we are, the as I said, the Caucasian descent, I believe it's only fair that me and you go first with this pick this week and leave the grand finale to the two other individuals on this show. So you can go ahead and go first. Which one you getting rid of? Chappelle Show, Fresh Prince, Martin, or the Boondocks?
All right, Fresh Prince is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. That's not going anywhere. That's the classic. I still watch that pretty much on TV every week. Just watch it on HBO Max. Chappelle Show to me is another classic. And
which not to cut you off, but Dave Chappelle just got the rights back to Chappelle Show. He reworked the deal, so you can actually go on Netflix and watch it again.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix and HBO Max. He worked 2 deals out.
Yeah, so big ups to him for getting all the rights back to that.
Yeah, Netflix removed it too. Whenever he said that he wanted it gone, they removed it until he reworked the new deal. So that's awesome.
Yep.
There's some classic skits on there. Then it comes down to the 2 shows that I watch all 4 of these shows. So it's not like there's any that I don't like. I tend to watch the Boondocks more than I've watched Martin. I still go back and rewatch Boondocks episodes that I've liked. So just for the sake of that, I don't watch it as much. I'm going to remove Martin from the list.
Oh boy. Okay. My initial gut said Boondocks, and I'm not going to overthink things this week. So I will go with the Boondocks, and that one got to go.
Okay, Fresh Prince, staying rewatchable no matter how many times you watch it. Chappelle Show, rewatchable. Boondocks, rewatchable. Martin is not. I watched it one time. It was good the first time. Don't feel like watching any of them again. Plus, my brother watches it faithfully, and it's annoying as shit. There may be a few good episodes, but
a few.
Martin is annoying to me just in general. So
Martin's what?
Go. Martin's annoying to me in general, so he got to go.
Martin Lawrence is just Martin Lawrence in general, or Martin on the show?
In general.
In general, really?
In general. He ain't been good since what? Bad Boys 2? You want to bring up Black Knight? What? What?
Blue Streak. Awesome Blue Streak. For the Raleighs.
Blue
What are you
Streak?
talking about?
Nah. Martin's annoying. You got to go.
Run Tell That? Like you're really gonna get rid of Run Tell That?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I don't find it funny.
What?
Sparingly funny. And I love
this is coming. I was gonna say this is coming from the guy that likes comedies.
And I bought Black Knight.
So you were the one.
What's the movie where he got stuck? Where he was a bee? Where he got stung by a bee? Him and David Hahn or whatever. Security, something.
Oh, that's what. Not Blue Streak. I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it either.
He ain't had a hit without Will Smith, so.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to pull up the IMDb right now to see. You're telling lies, right? Go ahead, Donald. What do you got?
Fresh Prince can't go nowhere. And remember, I'm the person who doesn't like comedies, but these four are different categories. So Fresh Prince can't go nowhere.
Wait.
Yes, they are.
How are they different categories? Chappelle Show is a sketch comedy show. Comedy is literally how it's described. How is it a different category?
But there's something real about all of these. Something real. Something real. So Fresh Prince have to stay. Chappelle Show was one of the funniest things ever in the early 2000s. So it comes down to Boondocks and Martin. And I'm sorry to say, Boondocks got to stay because it is hilarious. Martin got to go.
The Three Horsemen.
Back to back.
There are way more episodes of Boondocks that are classics than Martin had.
I can't wait for the new episodes of the Boondocks too.
Same here. Season 4 doesn't even get recognized by me, but I'm waiting for these new episodes.
Is Magruder back on?
Yes, he is.
Oh, then it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's already a classic. Sorry, Steve.
Listen. I'm not going to argue about anybody's takes this week. I'm not. Listen. It's our last podcast on Black History Month. Okay. All right. I know when and where to pick my fights and what legends to walk on. I don't want to go down that path. You guys feel that Martin needs to go, so yeah, I mean,
Martin gotta go.
Get rid of Tommy, get rid of Pam, get rid of Bob Man from the 5th floor. Like, go ahead, get rid of him. Go ahead. No, that's fine. All right. I'll be in.
40 characters are better than he was.
You guys are sleeping.
Man, hilarious. Hilarious.
Sleeping on Martin. Absolutely sleeping. The disrespect that show is got right now. The absolute disrespect. Now, granted, those 4, that's a very hard 4 to pick from. That is extremely hard because all 4 shows are really good.
Yeah.
I feel bad getting rid of Boondocks, right? I do. I do. Believe me, I do. I like Boondocks, like I do, but that's just all right. I mean, I'll be interested to see what people say. Who knows? Like, maybe me and Chris can't commentate on this one at all. I don't know.
I've seen a lot of Martin staying, so you're probably in the majority.
Uh-huh.
We'll get out there. I mean,
because after Fresh Prince, it was him.
I mean, we had 300 or more views last week on the battle of the chicken. So I don't know if we'll get as high. I don't know if we'll get as high of views this week, based off of the lack of aggression and the lack of in team fighting. I feel like this is a very positive way to go out.
So that's a quick question. If you would take Martin out and put in Living Single, how would it change up your opinion?
Living Single got to go. Sorry, Max. Sorry, Cal Overton. St. Clair.
I mean, not in Living Single, in Living Color. Sorry.
Whoa! You're putting a Living Color on that list?
Yeah. Take Martin out and put in Living Color.
Boondocks still got to go. And Living Color is.
I'm with you there. I think Boondocks will have to go. There.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way you're getting rid of In Living Color out of that list.
I have to sleep on that pick.
I think Boondocks will have to go.
I'd have to go back and watch everything again.
Initial reaction, I agree. I think I'd agree. Boondocks would go in that situation.
I mean, listen, if I would have rather seen In Living Color on out of that group of 4, like I would have rather seen In Living Color on there other than Martin, but there's no way you're getting rid of In Living Color. And Living Color is that's an all-time classic.
Yes, it is.
There were so many people on that show, like,
and then you're putting this stuff from different eras,
and that's true too. Like, I mean,
it is. Yeah.
You have Fresh Prince and Martin were same time.
Yeah.
Chappelle Show had its own genre, but I don't think anybody would get rid of Chappelle Show out of that 4. I think that's a consensus first ballot. Like, I don't think you get anybody to get rid of Chappelle Show. And if you're out there and you do get rid of Chappelle Show,
you're bogus.
Please tell me why. Okay, please tell me why, and what you tell me why, I'll tell you you're wrong. And then I'll send Donald and Jason to go pick up your black card. Okay? I'm not allowed to do that. I don't have that right. Okay? But I can send one of them 2 to go get it. Okay. There's no way you take Chappelle Show off that list. Fresh Prince is the same thing. I think Fresh Prince stays. Now,
those 2.
Now, if you were going to get into like the whole like Fresh Prince, Family Matters, like. Keeping it on the Cosbys, like if you're gonna
the
keep
same era,
if you're gonna keep it on like the true, like, I don't want to say black sitcom, but like the black family sitcom that was portrayed with those, like that's a completely different list. You know what I mean? I think this was a good list because there's similarities between all 4 shows, as far as like comedy wise and everything else, but different eras. Like I said, I love Boondocks. I like Boondocks a lot. You know, Boondocks is very popular, so it was hard to get rid of him. But I just feel like, you know, y'all are disrespecting Martin a little too much for me. Little too much. So we'll see what the viewers think. Don't shout us out. Let us know. You know what I mean? If you tell,
JJ, where you at? JJ, where you at?
I'm completely wrong. Wrong. I mean, let me know. You know, I know Michelle Nesby and her Yams podcast, you know, let us know. Did we get this one right? You know, let me bring that up. Let us know. Shout out to the Yams podcast. Like, come at us. Let us know. Did we get this right? Obviously, me and Chris can, we can comment, but that don't mean our word matters. We will gladly sit back and pop popcorn and look at the comments and read through them. So
that's my favorite pastime.
There you go. Let us know what you think this week for One Gotta Go. And with that, I will read comment to end the show like we do each and every week. Again, coming up on the last episode for Black History Month here. So I'm going to read a quote by Muhammad Ali. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. So with that, till next time, y'all can catch us around the way.